Assalamu alaikum. There are many classifications that are given in our textbook regarding the partially edentulous arches, but definitely one of the most famous among them is the Kennedy's classification system. Also, it is one of the most favorite questions that you will be asked throughout the year. So here I am with another lecture on Kennedy's classification system. Not that I'm a teacher, I'm just a student like you. So hope you like the video. Please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. So it was given by Edward Kennedy in 1923. It is based on the relationship of the edentulous spaces to the abutment teeth. So if you don't know, abutment teeth is any teeth that you use for supporting your denture. For example, if this is a denture, this does not look like a denture at all, but if this is a denture, it will take support from this tooth. It will take support from this tooth. So this is our abutment teeth. It could be any clasp or something. Okay. So, oops. So what Kennedy did, he divided all partially edentulous arches into 4 main types. Okay. So we have class 1. It states that bilateral edentulous area located posterior to the remaining natural teeth. So these are our remaining natural teeth, and we have edentulous area posterior to it. So this is the class 1. Then we have the class 2. It is unilateral edentulous area located posterior to the remaining natural teeth. So here you see we have unilateral edentulous area. Class 3. Unilateral edentulous areas with the natural teeth both anterior and posterior to it. So here is our edentulous area and we have teeth both anterior and posterior to it. Class 4. Single bilateral edentulous area located anterior to the remaining natural teeth. So here you can see you don't have any remaining natural teeth anteriorly. So this is the class 4. Now Applegate's rule. So Applegate was a person who gave some rules for Kennedy classification just to make things more simpler, more significant when you apply it in clinical life. So he gave 8 rules. So the rule 1 is that classification should follow rather than precede any extractions of teeth that might alter the original classification. He said if you have to extract any teeth, do it before you classify things. For example, patient came to you with this kind of arch. So you will find only a single edentulous space here. So you will give it Kennedy class 3 because it has a teeth anterior and teeth posterior to it. But after the classification, you made the treatment plan, you did everything. Then you realize that these 2 teeth had to be removed. Then what will happen? This classification, which was initially class 3, it will become class 2 because it is now a single unilateral edentulous area. Okay, so this will impact your treatment plan because you made your treatment plan based on the class 3. You made your treatment plan based on the class 3. Now what you got? You got class 2. So everything changed. That is why the rule 1, it is very important rule, is that classification should follow rather than precede any extraction of teeth. Okay. Now rule 2. If the third molar is missing and not to be replaced, it is not considered in the classification. For example, you see here, this third molar is missing and you do not have to replace it. So just leave it. Okay. Just consider this gap here, and according to the Kennedy's rule, it will be class 3. Okay. So if you do not have to replace it, do not consider it. So other areas you will consider. Fine. Rule 3. If the third molar is present and is to be used as an abutment, it is considered in the classification. Here you see third molar is present and you have to use it as an abutment. So you consider it in the classification. Now you find here it is class 3 and you have one space here, so it is modification 1. Okay, but if you do not consider this, it will become a single unilateral edentulous area and it will become class 2. Right? So the rule 3 is that if the third molar is present and it is to be used as an abutment, you have to consider it in the classification. Now the rule 4. If the second molar is missing and not to be replaced, it is not considered in the classification. Here you can see second molar is missing and you do not have to replace it. So don't consider this. Consider all other areas. For example, here you can see, this is just an example. it could be anywhere. So you just have to classify this area. It is class 3 obviously in this example. Now rule 5. The most posterior edentulous area or areas always determines the classification. So the area which is most posterior, here you can see these two areas, they are the most posterior one. So they will determine the classification, and all other areas, for example here you can see this area will not determine the classification. Okay, these would be in fact modification spaces. Modification spaces. Okay, so this is bilateral edentulous area, so it is class 1, and we have a single space here, so it is modification 1. Now rule 6. Edentulous areas other than those determining the classification are referred to as modification spaces. The same thing I told you in class 5th. So this will determine the classification, and here this is the modification space. Modification space. Okay. So if one space is missing, you will say it is mod 1, modification 1. And if this tooth is also absent, you will say mod 2. Okay, and if this tooth is also absent, you will say mod 3, right? Rule 7. Extent of modification is not considered, only the number of additional edentulous area. Means that here you can see in this example it is class 3. Obviously I'm giving the same example because it was easy to copy and paste. Okay, so this is class 3 and this is modification 1. Okay, so he is saying that extent of modification means how many number of teeth are absent does not matter. For example, even if this tooth was also absent, you will still say that it is modification 1. Okay, so extent of modification is not considered, only number of additional areas is considered, spaces are considered. You don't count the teeth, you count the areas in modification spaces, right? Now Applegate's rule, which is the rule number 8 and the final rule, there can be no modification areas in class 4 arches. Why? Because obviously class 4th is the most anterior edentulous area, right? So any area, any edentulous area will be obviously posterior to it. For example, if these teeth were absent, definitely they are posterior to this area, right? So according to the rule 5th, the most posterior area will determine the classification. So it will no longer be class 4. So classification is changing. So that is why if it is a class 4 arch, there can be no modification areas in that, right? So here we end the Kennedy classification. This was, I think, my first video on prosthodontics. Hope you liked the video. Allah Hafiz.